What's up everybody? In this video, I'm going to show you 3 things that I hate about the Samsung Galaxy A13. So if you were thinking about maybe getting one, I suggest you watch this video first, all the way through, before you make any decisions. That being said, the first thing that I don't like about the A13 is unfortunately its very limited performance. This phone is meant to be used in a simple and casual way. To use social media, send messages, take some pictures, and even to play some simple games. For these types of activities, the phone works incredibly well. And I say this from experience. In all of the time I've been using the phone, doing those simple activities, it's not given me any issues at all, and it's worked 10 out of 10 perfectly fine. But if you want to play the most demanding games available at maximum resolution with ultra graphics, well, obviously, you're going to run into performance issues. As I said, this phone is meant to be used in a simple and casual way. So if you're interested in buying it, maybe you should analyze the way you normally use your current phone. That way you'll know if you're compatible with the A13, or if you should aim a little higher, pay more money, and get a phone that better fits your needs. Honestly, I believe that 90% of you watching this video are going to be perfectly fine with this phone. As I said, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, messages, normal apps, even games like Clash of Clans or Clash Royale are going to work fine. Unless you're like a special user that does like special stuff like plays the most demanding games available or edits videos on your phone. Unless you're that type of person, you have nothing to worry about. Another feature that I don't really like about this phone is the way it looks from the front. As you can see, it has the old and outdated notch in the middle of the screen instead of the new camera hole, which is what most phones include now, and that looks a lot better. And even worse, the bottom chin is actually like 2 times thicker than on normal phones, even on this price range. Like nowadays, most phones don't really have one at all. I think we can all agree that the front of this phone looks a little bit dated, which sure, it's fine. It's a minor problem. Most people won't notice or care because the differences are very small. But I don't like it. It looks outdated, and in 1 year, it's going to be even more outdated. The worst part is that, as I said earlier, they nailed the back of the phone. If Samsung had given the same treatment to the front, this phone would be a 10 out of 10. But anyways, that being said, the actual display, what's inside of those bezels, is actually pretty good. It has a nice resolution to be able to read small text without forcing your vision, and it's also very bright. I've tested the phone in multiple conditions, including the most extreme ones, and I was able to see the display and use the phone in all of them, even at 12 a.m. on a sunny day. Display brightness and resolution are the most important things about the display. That's what 99% of people care about, and also what makes a noticeable difference in your experience. Of course, this phone doesn't have any fancy calibration technologies or the latest display panels available, but those are very subtle things that most people would not notice anyways, and also things that would make this phone way more expensive than it is. So yeah, the display is what you need and nothing else, which for $150 I think is a pretty good deal. And of course, if we're talking about bad things, I have to tell you about the camera. Which, don't get me wrong, it's not a terrible camera. There's good things about it, but it is not perfect. I would like to start by talking about this one at the top, the ultra-wide camera, which, as you can see, is not especially high quality. This camera is a little bit below what I was expecting, to be honest. Maybe with good lighting and a good photographer, you can take decent pictures, but the moment you zoom in a little, you start to notice that every surface is blurry and there's little to no detail. It only has 5 megapixels, which in 2022 is kind of a joke, but being realistic, it was inevitable that one of the cameras was going to be a piece of trash, because this phone is $150, and with that kind of budget, they obviously had to make some compromises. On the video department, it's a little bit better. Ultra-wide cameras tend to have very good image stabilization, which means videos don't look wobbly when you move the phone, so if you are in an agitated environment and you want to take a video, this is probably the camera you have to use. Moving on, of course, we have the main lens, which is supposed to be the best one in the phone, and I am very impressed. It not only looks a lot better than the ultra-wide, but it looks in general a lot better than it should. You can probably find similar quality on $300 phones from the competition. There's a lot more detail and way better colors, which I've noticed make a big difference on how the image looks. As you can see, if we compare the same picture taken with the ultra-wide camera and the main camera, colors are different. On the main camera, they look more punchy and realistic. It also has a lot more resolution, jumping from 5 megapixels to 50 megapixels, which is absolutely crazy. It is 10 times as many pixels. And of course, when you zoom in, you immediately notice there's a lot more detail in the pictures. And to top all of these off, as the cream of the crop, it also has a way bigger sensor, which will let you take good photos even if the lighting conditions are not perfect. When it comes to video, as you can see, it's also going to give you a similar bump in quality, resulting in a much cleaner and crisper video. As I said earlier, unless you want to film something with a lot of movement, you should probably use this camera for video every single time. Moving on, we also have a 2x mode, which doesn't actually take pictures from a different camera. These photos are the main camera photos you saw earlier, but with a small zoom applied by the phone before you take the picture. So yeah, this means that the 2x photos are going to look almost identical to the 1x photos from the main camera, although you're probably going to lose some detail caused by the electronic zoom. And I'm going to say it one more time, the main lens, it's the best one by far. It's got more megapixels, a bigger sensor, a better sensor, better colors. Even when it's zoomed in on the 2x mode, it's surprisingly good. It's better than most other dedicated zoom lenses of the competition, of course, with similar prices. My advice is that you use the main lens, or 1x mode and 2x mode, 90% of the time to take most of your pictures. And you save the ultra-wide camera for those very specific moments when you need to take like a very wide picture, like a group photo. When it comes to night mode, I'm going to be very clear, okay? You should never use the ultra-wide camera to take pictures at night. You're only going to take pictures of absolute darkness and maybe a blurry light if you're lucky. As I said earlier, this camera doesn't really go beyond group photos at broad daylight. But I don't want you to be pessimistic, okay? I know, it's kind of sad to hear all these bad things one after the other. They make you not want to buy this phone, but I have to tell you there's lots of great things about it, probably more good things than bad things. And here they are. Those are all the good things about the Galaxy A13, all of them. What could they be? Who knows, right? Who knows? The only way to find out is for you to click